Most pest problems don't start because insects love your plants. They start because, well, your plants are just easy to find. Once bugs locate a food source, they leave chemical signals that, invite the entire neighborhood. That is why spraying often feels endless. You kill today's pests, but honestly, tomorrow's arrive faster. What if the real solution was not killing insects at all, but making plants harder for them to detect in the first place? Chemical sprays work by contact or ingestion. They do nothing to interrupt how insects locate plants. Aphids, beetles, caterpillars, and many flying pests rely on scent trails, electrical signals, and surface cues to identify suitable hosts. When those signals remain unchanged, pests return repeatedly. Sprays also strip beneficial insects and disrupt the natural balance that keeps pest populations in check. Over time, this creates weaker plants and, stronger infestations. Copper has been used in agriculture for centuries, but not in the way most gardeners understand. Beyond its role as a micronutrient, copper alters the microenvironment around plant stems and soil surfaces. When copper is present, it interferes with electrochemical signals insects use to orient themselves. Many crawling pests rely on subtle electrical gradients between soil and plant tissue. Copper disrupts those gradients, causing insects to hesitate, turn away, or fail to establish feeding behavior. This does not poison insects. It confuses them. Insects have extremely sensitive nervous systems. Copper produces microcurrents when exposed to moisture and soil contact. These currents are harmless to plants, but uncomfortable to soft-bodied insects. Slugs, ants, aphids, and many larvae actively avoid copper surfaces. When copper is positioned correctly, insects fail to cross the boundary long enough to settle and reproduce. So, you'll want to use pure copper wire, not any coated or alloyed metal. The ideal thickness really is between 1.5 to 2 millimeters, thick enough to hold its shape, yet still easy enough to bend. Next, form a loose coil around the base of the plant stem and make sure to leave a small gap so the copper never actually touches the plant tissue directly. The coil should sit just above the soil surface. For raised beds, a continuous copper wire can be placed along the inner edge of the bed frame, creating a protected zone rather than individual plant barriers. Moisture activates copper's effect. Just normal soil moisture or even a light watering is enough to get things going. Insects, they actually use volatile compounds released by stressed plants to identify their targets. Copper, on the other hand, helps stabilize plant cell membranes and, improves metabolic efficiency. Healthier plants, interestingly, emit fewer distress signals. At the same time, copper alters the surface chemistry near the soil line, which is right where many insects begin their climb. So the result here is really a double effect. Plants become quieter, chemically, and the approach path becomes uncomfortable physically. This is why gardeners often report fewer pests without seeing dead insects. Copper is powerful, but honestly should be used sparingly. 1 coil per plant or 1 continuous barrier per bed is enough. More copper does not improve results and can accumulate unnecessarily. Never bury copper deeply into the soil. It should remain at the surface where it interacts with moisture and insect movement. Now, it's important to avoid direct contact between copper and plant stems, as this helps prevent abrasion. Copper is, most effective against crawling pests such as slugs, snails, ants, earwigs, and aphids moving up from the soil. It also reduces egg-laying behavior near the plant base, which in turn lowers future infestations. Flying insects are affected indirectly through reduced landing and feeding behavior, especially when plants are healthier and, less chemically loud. Some gardeners use copper sprays or solutions, but, this is not the same approach. Liquid copper acts as a fungicide and must be diluted precisely to avoid damage. If using copper sulfate as a foliar preventative, dissolve 1 gram of copper sulfate in 1 litre of water. Apply only as a fine mist to foliage no more than once every 3 weeks. This is optional and not required for the coil method. The coil works continuously without spraying. Because copper does not kill on contact, pollinators and predators are not harmed. Lady beetles, lacewings, and ground beetles continue to hunt naturally. Over time, pest pressure decreases because insects fail to establish colonies rather than being wiped out and replaced. Copper works best in living soil. Strong roots, balanced microbes, and proper moisture amplify its effect. When plants, grow steadily without stress, insects tend to lose interest really quickly. This is actually why copper often feels more effective in gardens that focus on soil health, rather than relying on chemical feeding. Copper coils simply cannot be patented, branded or sold as a recurring product. Once installed, they just work for years. That makes them invisible in a market built on repeat purchases. Yet, this technique has been quietly used in greenhouses and traditional gardens long before pesticides became the default solution. The goal is not extermination. It is prevention through environmental control. When insects cannot orient, feed or reproduce easily, they move elsewhere. That is real pest management. If this changed how you think about bugs in the garden, subscribe to Nature's Blueprint, share this with another gardener who's tired of spraying, and help bring back smarter, quieter ways of growing.